They told us the goal was control. Control the bugs. Control the weeds. Control the soil. But something feels off. Because the harder we tried to control everything, the more things started falling apart. Gardens that once thrived on their own now struggle to survive without constant help. Soil that used to be alive now needs feeding like it's exhausted. And plants, they've become dependent, fragile. We were promised something better, more efficient, more advanced. But look closer. If it's truly better, why does it feel like we're doing more work than ever? Why does it feel like nature is resisting us? They said this was progress. But is it? The problem how things became complicated. It didn't start this way. There was a time when gardens worked with nature, not against it. Things weren't perfect, but they were balanced. Then slowly, the mindset shifted. Every insect became a problem to eliminate. Every weed became something to fight. Every flaw needed a solution in a bottle or a bag. And without realizing it, gardening turned into a constant battle. Spray this, kill that, add more, fix it faster. It sounded helpful at first, even smart, but each solution came with a hidden cost. When we killed pests, we also removed the insects that protect our plants. When we cleared every weed, we exposed and weakened the soil. When we kept adding products, the soil forgot how to sustain itself. Little by little, we didn't just change the garden. We broke the system that made it work. The balance disappeared, and in its place came dependency. Now the soil needs constant feeding. Plants can't thrive without intervention, and gardeners are stuck doing more work for less reward. It's no longer simple. It's no longer natural. And deep down, you can feel it wasn't meant to be this hard. Before all of this, things worked differently. Not perfect, not polished, but deeply in tune. People didn't walk into their gardens trying to control every detail. They walked in to observe, to notice what was growing, what was struggling, what was already working without them. And instead of fighting nature, they learned how to move with it. Because here's what they understood that we've forgotten. Not everything that looks like a problem is one. Those bugs you're quick to kill, some of them are protectors. They feed on the very pests you're trying to eliminate. Those weeds you rush to pull out, some are covering and cooling the soil. Others are pulling nutrients up from deep underground. Even the soil itself, it was never meant to be fixed with constant inputs. It was meant to be fed. Slowly, naturally, consistently. Kitchen scraps, fallen leaves, plant matter returning back to the earth. Nothing wasted, everything recycled. And from that simple cycle, something powerful happened. Life supported life. Diversity created strength. Different plants, insects, and organisms working together. Not competing for control, but contributing to balance. And balance created protection. When one thing got out of hand, something else stepped in to restore order. No panic, no overreaction, no constant and just quiet correction. The garden didn't need saving every week, because it was never left alone to collapse. It was part of a system that knew how to sustain itself. But somewhere along the way, we stopped trusting that system. We replaced observation with intervention, patience with urgency, balance with control. And now we're stuck trying to manage what used to manage itself. The truth is, this new method we were sold isn't making things better. It's creating the very problems it claims to solve. Back then, gardens didn't need constant rescue. Not because people worked harder, but because the system itself was stronger. The foundation was different. Healthy soil wasn't just dirt. It was alive, filled with organisms you couldn't see, breaking things down, releasing nutrients, feeding the plants naturally, day after day. And when the soil is truly healthy, plants don't just grow, they defend themselves. Stronger roots, stronger leaves, better resistance to stress, pests, and disease. So something interesting happened. When plants became stronger, pests became less of a problem. Not because they disappeared, but because they were kept in check. A mix of life handled it. Birds, insects, microorganisms, each playing a role. No single species took over, because no system was left in balance long enough to collapse. And that meant one thing. No constant panic. No endless spraying. No weekly rush to fix something new. Just a system, quietly doing its job. And the people working those gardens, they weren't exhausted. They weren't running back and forth to buy the next solution. They were participating, not controlling. That's why it worked. And here's what makes this even more powerful. It still works. Today, when people step away from the cycle of control, when they stop trying to force the garden into perfection, and start rebuilding balance instead, the same pattern returns. The soil begins to recover, slowly, then all at once. Plants grow stronger without needing constant help. Pest problems don't vanish overnight, but they stop spiraling out of control. And over time, something shifts. Less work, fewer problems, better, more consistent results. Not because it's easier in the beginning, but because it becomes sustainable. That's the difference. You're no longer fighting nature every step of the way. You're working with a system that supports itself. And maybe the most important truth is this. Nature hasn't forgotten how to do this. The balance is still there. The process still works. All of it is waiting, right beneath your feet. We didn't lose the method. We just stopped trusting it. Simple steps you can start today. You don't need to fix everything overnight. In fact, trying to fix everything at once is what got most gardens into trouble in the first place. This isn't about doing more. It's about doing less but doing it differently. Start small. Start where you are. The first shift is simple, but powerful. Stop trying to kill everything. Not every insect is your enemy. Before you react, pause. Observe. Watch what shows up. You might notice something surprising. When you don't interfere immediately, balance begins to form on its own. Next, rethink weeds. Instead of clearing everything out, leave a few, just a few. Watch how they behave. Some will shade the soil. Some will attract insects. Some will tell you what your soil is lacking. Your garden is speaking, but only if something is there to speak through. Then shift your focus to the soil. Don't try to fix it overnight with products. Feed it instead. Use what you already have. Kitchen scraps, dry leaves, grass clippings. Let it break down slowly. Let it return to the earth. This is how soil rebuilds its strength. Not in a rush, but through consistency. Now look at what you're planting. If everything in your garden looks the same, it will face the same problems. Mix it up. Different crops, different growth patterns, different timing. Diversity doesn't just make your garden look better, it makes it stronger. And here's one step most people overlook. Let a small part of your garden go a little wild. Not neglected, just untouched. No constant trimming. No constant interference. This space becomes your teacher. It shows you what nature does when it's allowed to function on its own. And over time, you start to see the difference. The areas you control less often begin to thrive more. That's the shift. Do less controlling and more allowing. Less reacting, more observing. Less forcing, more trusting. Because you're not trying to dominate the system anymore. You're giving it space to rebuild. And it will. Slowly at first. Then in ways that surprise you. You don't have to carry the whole garden on your shoulders. It was never designed that way. Maybe the problem was never your garden. Maybe it was the belief that everything had to be controlled. That every imperfection was a threat. That every sign of struggle meant something was wrong. So we stepped in again and again, trying to correct, adjust, eliminate. We tried to kill everything that looked like a problem. The bugs, the weeds, the imbalance. But in doing that, we didn't just remove problems. We removed the solutions too. The quiet helpers, the natural checks and balances, the systems that were already working beneath the surface. And without them, the garden didn't get better. It became dependent, fragile. Harder to manage with every passing season. So maybe the real issue wasn't what showed up in your garden. Maybe it was how quickly we decided it didn't belong. Because not everything that appears is there to harm. Some things are there to restore, to correct, to bring things back into balance. But you can't see that if your first instinct is always control. And this is where the shift begins. The moment you step back, not in neglect, but in trust, something changes. You start to notice patterns, connections, small corrections happening on their own. The soil begins to soften again. Life slowly returns. The pressure eases. And what once felt like constant work starts to feel manageable, even peaceful. Because you're no longer carrying everything by yourself. You're allowing the system to do what it was designed to do, to support life, to restore balance, to heal from within. And maybe that's the part we forgot. Nature doesn't need perfection to function. It needs balance. And balance doesn't come from control. It comes from cooperation. Working with what's already there, instead of trying to replace it. Because before all of this, before the noise, the products, the pressure, things weren't perfect, but they worked. And deep down, you can still feel it.